I just thought that trying to read every single day will help me get back into the pattern of reading and eventually get right back on my game, because my reading goal for this year happens to be 100 books. And ask me, am I anywhere near that? Even to 50 books? No, no, no. Your girl is nowhere near. Yet I don't feel stressed about it at all. I just feel like, yeah, I'm gonna reach 100 books. Like, what do you mean? Today, I am reading Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I did read 50 pages yesterday, which really doesn't really feel like I made a dent in this at all, even though that's like a hella lot of pages. How many pages are in this book actually? Because maybe that's my problem, because I feel like I keep reading this in like 50-page batches, but like I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere in the book. 494. It's right at almost 500 pages, which is insane because this does not feel like, am I reading that slowly? This one I'm not going to finish fast. I probably will still be reading this in June. I also have the audiobook because, you know, it's crazy. I have Spotify Premium and I have never used the audiobook feature on there. I think I'm going to read like 50 more pages of this tonight. That's going to be the goal, at least 50 pages, which should, based on where I left off, which is on page 288, that should, yeah, that roughly should get me into like the 300 range of the book. Do you want like a little spoiler, little something about this, or do you like not want spoilers at all? How do people do these? Like, do you really chat about like the book as you go along, or do you like just kind of leave it? I'm just gonna say spoiler, 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 and you know what I'm talking about. So like, you know how I said that there are two princes and there's one who's obviously going to be king, and then there's the one who's the enforcer, right? The one who's going to be king, I don't really understand why he's interested in Peyton. I mean, I do understand on a basic, this is not the first book I've ever read. I understand love triangles are always inserted into things that aren't necessary. I guess I'm just confused. Like, maybe it's also because I'm just not interested in the book, so I'm not reading super into the text like that for them. I really only pay attention for like Peyton and Kai. Like, I feel like it came kind of out of nowhere. Like, yeah, they met, and like at first he was like teasing his brother about her, but then all of a sudden he's like, can I walk you to your room, and having talks with her and being like, oh, go to the dance with me. And I'm just kind of like, but why? You know, like, is there an ulterior motive to it? And I feel like that's more where I'm leaning. Like, he's doing this to kind of get her trust, just to betray it later. But then I'm also like, but why? Like, it just feels so random. But then I also thought that maybe it's because he saw his younger brother, like, obviously being into this girl. Obviously we can't have that. So I don't know, it just feels weird, and I feel like it's very unnecessary. And every single time there's like scenes between Peyton and Kit is his name, I just don't care. I just literally talked myself out of reading this book, but I still think that I do want to get a few pages read off of this tonight, so I probably will. But Bridesmaid for Hire. Now, if you've been watching my channel for a little bit, you know that I always seem to have a habit of reading wedding books around weddings. I don't know what it is, but somehow, some way, even if I pick up like a random romance book, I feel like there's always randomly a wedding thrown in there at some point, or someone's going to a wedding, they're a bridesmaid for their best friend, and it's like, where did this wedding come from? Anyway, so I thought it would be so fun to start this because it just, I don't know, I feel like I haven't picked up a distinct, we already know there's a wedding going in book in a really long time. Maybe we will read a little bit of this just so I can feel like I am getting through, and then maybe we'll start this tonight. But I have a few things that I need to do, so I will check back with you later, and I need to put some of these batteries on the charger. I need to put my light on the charger.
Samantha Jones, PR. No, I don't know when she will. Yeah, well, she's been busy. Yeah, you have a shitty attitude, too. Oh, and FYI, your parties suck.
50 blocks downtown and 5 flights up, Sean and I had almost made it to the party.
288 until page 312. I should probably write that down somewhere. I still just don't feel super obsessed with this story, which I think is unfortunate because like so many people were like, I'm so obsessed with this. But you know what? It's probably also because I feel like I'm probably not the target market for this. I might be a little older for it. I don't know. I think it's time to start bringing other books into the mix again, and I definitely think that I want to start reading this one. But first, let's read the summary in the back so that we all know what we're talking about. So this is how it looks. Sometimes the wedding of the century calls for desperate measures, and sometimes those desperate measures are to pretend the person you hate most is actually your boyfriend. Didn't I say that I hate fake dating? Don't I say that every single freaking time? And then I always end up in fake dating books. Maybe I need to take that off of my list. I need to do another one of those ranking of tropes so I can figure out which tropes I really don't like. Because maybe it's changed, and maybe it's changed because I feel like I keep picking up, or maybe they just keep writing them and I have no choice but to be intrigued. Anyway, event planner Maggie Mitchell is ready for a vacation. With an abundant need for some R&R, she heads to Bora Bora to kick up her feet and soak in the sun. Unfortunately, on day one, she runs into Brody McFadden, her brother's best friend, and also her sworn enemy. Thanks to years of tension between the two, Maggie has vowed to stay away from the man. That is, until she finds out that he's on the island for his boss's daughter's wedding. There's a lot of people mentioned here, hoping to use this trip to win a real future at the company. Maggie promised herself she wouldn't even think of work on the island, but as word spreads about the wedding of the century taking place in the midst of her vacation, she realizes offering her services as a bridesmaid and planner could bring her business to the next level. The only catch, she needs to pose as Brody's girlfriend to get the job, which means hand-holding, kissing, sharing the same one-bed bungalow. Tensions rise, irritation flares, and despite years' worth of bickering behind closed doors, Maggie can't quite squash the sparks building between her and her new fake boyfriend. But as the wedding day draws closer and everything starts to go wrong, it just might be Brody who sends Maggie's business crashing down and her heart along with it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so there's an added little sprinkle of element there. We have the best friend's brother. I mean, your brother's best, wait. I said best friend's brother. It's brother's best friend. Okay, perfect. Is it older brother? It doesn't say. I hate to let you down already in this video, but you might have noticed that I didn't read anything on Wednesday. I'm sorry, it didn't happen for me. It was all of a sudden like the end of the night. I had been watching Sex and the City and it just didn't happen for me. So here we are, Thursday. I am reading The Slumber Party Secret from Nancy Drew notebooks right here. If you know anything about me on this channel, you would know that I love me some Nancy Drew. I think Nancy is so freaking messy. And even in this book, which is her children, you know, book, there are probably so many different like offsprings of Nancy Drew stories. This was about her friend having a slumber party for her birthday and the invitations went missing, and Nancy kind of helps her figure out who is trying to sabotage her party. And this is also kind of when Nancy figures out that she kind of wants to be a detective. Right there we have 76 pages read for Thursday, and I feel like this is partly making up for Wednesday when I didn't report back. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, I did read Bridesmaids for Hire, and I got in 30 pages, which is the first, I think, like 3-4 chapters, I think, because there's a prologue. And yeah, I'm on chapter 3 with Brody, who is the guy. It goes back and forth in point of view. Wait, I did start it technically on Tuesday, so like Tuesday I read, well let's split it up. Actually, let's just split it up, because I'm pretty sure I was reading this into like midnight to 1 o'clock in the morning. So like midnight to 1 a.m. I was reading this. So let's just count that for Wednesday, since I didn't have anything. Let's just do that. Working smarter, not harder. Exactly. So far, I will say about this book, I am liking the kind of writing style, I guess. I like when books kind of have that fourth wall break in them. Cause like this one, it like kind of talks to you as the reader, and it's like, can you believe that shit? And I'm like, yeah girl, I can't believe you. They just told me that that shit happened. Like, what do you mean? So I kind of like that whenever that happens in books. I think I did say that this is my first Meghan Quinn book, so I'm not really familiar with the author in general. I don't know if that's something that she always does, but I really do like it so far. I think it has a really nice setup, and my girl, what's her name? Maggie, she be plotting, because she's already plotting in the first 30 pages, and so I'm very intrigued to see how she pulls off her plot. So we'll definitely probably read more of that, as long as I don't get too wrapped into my Sex and the City rewatch. I was waiting for Sex and the City to get put on Netflix because it's so good. It's so good. I haven't rewatched Sex and the City in years though. Currently on page 75. That's how far I got. Chapter 6. So I think I left off at 30. So if I'm at 75, that means I've read 45 pages, right? No one told me there were pictures in the book. There are pictures in the book. I was not picturing this. I can tell you that I was not picturing this. I mean, it makes a lot more sense now that I see the visual. There are so many words in this book. There are so many words. And if you've been here long enough, you know one of my biggest criticisms of some books is that there are too many words, and this is bridging on that. The words aren't even like, I mean, they're contributing to the story, but it's like, how do I explain this? It's like if you do something embarrassing and in your mind you're thinking like, oh my god, fuck, did someone say that? Wait, literally every single part of that is written in here. Every single line of that process of thinking is in here, and that's a lot of words for no reason. I didn't need to know all of those inner thoughts. I like getting to see more of his view of Maggie, but I think there's only so much I care about. Like I really don't care about how much you're sweating right now. That's not exactly helping me. Officially Saturday, but this is for Friday. Started off at page 75 and I am finishing at page 291, and honestly, I don't even know how I breezed through all of those pages, because at first I kept saying like, oh, I'm getting so annoyed. I think that this is just like not gonna work out. And then the further I read, the more I was just like, this is actually really, really good. And I was getting more and more invested. And then before I knew it, we were already at the moment when they... Wait, is that a super huge spoiler? Wait, actually it is. Wait, let me not say anything. Roughly at the point where they're like a couple, or like, you know how fake dating books usually go. Eventually they do become a couple. But I'm like, what's gonna happen in here? You know what I'm saying? I feel like the author is definitely a little wordy in her writing style. So, I mean, maybe there isn't a third act breakup. But I feel like there probably is. That's definitely enough pages for something to go wrong, or for some type of misunderstanding to happen. I do have one theory on one that I think could happen.
I don't know though yet. But it would be very kick-ass if I could finish this tomorrow. That would be amazing. Like, finish a book. Wow, what a feeling. The only reason why I didn't read chapter 14 is because like the next chapter is like 20 something pages, I swear. Who decided that? Who thinks long chapters are a good idea? I don't think they are. So like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Because like, chapter, what is it? Chapter 15 isn't until like, no, actually it's still past here. Like, chapter 15 goes to page 321 and we're at 290. That is a long ass fucking, actually that's longer than 20 pages. That's 30 pages. Who needs 30 pages for a chapter? Yeah, so the chapters are very long because how am I only at chapter 14 and I've read 290 something pages of text? That's insane. I say we have shorter chapters in books because it definitely makes you feel like you're reading a lot faster. What else do I have to say for this check-in? I don't really know.
I finished a book. I finished another book. Y'all be proud of me. In less than a week. It wasn't bad. It was good. Okay, so I read from, how do you see, this is why I don't like Storygraph. How do you figure out what you've read? Like, how do you see your activity? Okay, here we go. I can't even see the number of pages. Okay, anyway, I think I left off at like 290. I think that's where I left off at, and I finished the book, which is 443 pages. This book was insanely long. As I said, it's almost 500 pages. It was a wedding, but I don't really think that the wedding was as interesting as I thought it was going to be. I don't know if I was super invested in the wedding, or the chaos of the wedding, or the lead up to the wedding. It was weird. Like, I was reading it and I was enjoying it, and there were like certain things I liked, but like, was it the wedding? Considering the wedding took up majority of this. You know when I came alive with this book? With the third act. The third act breakup woke shit up. I'm sorry. Things really started rolling then, and we really got to see some other dynamics that I feel like you just couldn't get into in the whole other part of the book, which is unfortunate, because like, bringing in especially I think Gary for Brody kind of reminds me of like Chandler and Joey from Friends, but then the dynamic of like the best friends, your brother's best friend is kind of like Monica and Chandler ish, not per se every single detail, but you know, just the things. So Brody just seemed like he was just like all about Maggie, but Maggie was so easily, I think, incorporated into the mold for the wedding, that she was just standing in as a bridesmaid in, but I feel like Brody was having like a harder time. I think, I feel like it's a 3.5 stars, maybe 4. I have to think about it for a second. I don't know. I think the length of this really works against it. That's the main thing that I can say as the biggest. And I think there were some things about Maggie that I didn't per se love. Was this part of a series? I feel like it wasn't. Because I feel like at the beginning of this, because I would have been so curious to see, because I feel like, wait, let me see. Yeah, this is, okay, this is a new series. This is the first one in the Bridesmaid for Hire, I'm guessing. Oh wait, the Keene brothers. That makes sense now. You know, I would have really loved to have seen Gary and Maggie's brother and his wife, because I feel like they have such a fun little interesting little dynamic, but they're already together, so I don't really know what the story would be for that. That's all I have to say about this. I don't have too much to say, so I'm just gonna leave it at that, and I think I'm gonna give this 3.5 stars. I think it was good. If you like wedding books, yes.
I really want this to sound better than that other clip did, so I'm gonna turn it off. But I don't want to because it's hot as balls in here. But then maybe that will make me talk faster, so then I finish this clip faster. And that will be great for all of us involved. Hi, hello. We are here with the last part of this video. And I read 50 pages of this book. I got it today at Barnes & Noble because I finished 2 books last week. So of course, in my mind, that means I go out and buy 2 books. So I got Done and Dusted by Lyla Sage. I was like, who is this by? Next of Kin by Hannah Bonham Young. Like, she couldn't wait to get out of her hometown, and now she is back in her hometown after a breakup, after something traumatic happened. Brother's Best Friend, which is crazy because I read Bridesmaid for Hire and that was a older brother's best friend also. How did that happen? When I was at Barnes & Noble the last time, I was looking for this exact book and it wasn't there, but then it was there this week. So that kind of worked out for me. And also this one was not there last week. If only they would get the partner plot, but I don't think that one's going to be in stores because I have never seen it at Target or Barnes & Noble, and it has been like 2 months since it came out and I still have not purchased it. So I think I have to bite the bullet and just buy it off of Amazon. I have not annotated anything. Be proud of me. I'm trying to have a little bit more discretion with my annotating because sometimes I think I like get so excited about annotating that I don't really think about like, okay, but is this really a book that I'm probably really gonna love? And even though I have read 50 pages of this and I could just decide, hey, I'm just gonna annotate this because I think the annotating tabs would be so pretty. Like, look at all of the colors on this book. Oh my god. Me and my friend were also talking today about covers for books because she was showing me a TikTok of this book that she really wanted to read, and she was like, I hate how the smutty book covers look, and it's like the typical cover of this guy with this big great 6-pack, all these muscles, no head. You know the ones. Then we got into this discussion about all of the different varying types of covers, and I kind of sent her this picture of like some of the covers that I have that are like varying degrees of like whatever. When it comes to adult romances, I'm not gonna lie, I would like there to be covers like these. I think that these styles, like these art styles, are so good to me. It's so much character. We can see the characters embracing. There's chemistry. There's like tension here. Like they're into each other. You know, I can clearly see that. Stunning. Like, you have these 2 people, their hands are all over each other. His hand is on the small of her back. Their eyes are closed. It's like they're just inhaling each other and just like in that moment so deep. And the background isn't too busy. It's just the skyline of the city wherever they are. And it's beautiful. Beautiful, but it's adult, and I can tell it's adult, and it's sexy without doing too much. Capitalizes on the whole Western vibe, and also just has very fun usage of bold lines, almost bridging on like kind of a comic book style, and it just has great colors, and I love this also. But they are embracing. They are so into making out with each other that they're just like, she's about to pull this hat off so they can really get to it. I do love the OG Harlequin books and just the varying degrees. I know this one isn't as like steamy to be quite honest, but like I still love this. I still enjoy this because these are 2 adults. I can clearly tell that this is going to be a sexy time, and I know what I'm getting when I'm going into this. And there are the people who want the very discreet covers, and I feel like we have reached 2 spectrums of this. We have the cartoon style, and I'm not trying to like bash this book. Like, obviously I haven't read it. I'm just talking about the cover, and I'm not saying it's a bad cover. I actually like the cover. It's cute. I could see how this could be easily mistaken for like a YA book, but definitely probably like Wildfire and Icebreaker, I think, are the 2 that are right now catching a lot more attention in a younger, more youthful crowd. I could see easily how those covers could get by a parent of like a 10-year-old because those look like, you know, YA type books. When you have 2 characters on a cover like this that are literally, there's like a space for Jesus in here, okay? And it's not that that's bad, but like it feels very youthful. And then they have covers like this where there's absolutely nothing on it that really tells you anything. You might be lucky to get some type of imagery on it, but really there's nothing. But I definitely like these a lot more than like this. Like this is fine, the flawless one is fine, I guess I'll take that, but like this I don't love as much. I feel like maybe when it first came out I liked it and I appreciated it, and I think that since I spent all this time talking about this, thank you so much for watching this weekly reading vlog, what I read in a week, the pages that I read in a week. I will put somewhere on the screen the total number of pages that I ended up reading this week, and I'm so proud of myself for reading and finishing 2 books. Yay, that's progress right before April ends. Anyways, that's all. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!
Only living the dreams, baby.